my name is Teresa. Thank you so much for clicking. If you could subscribe, I would love for you to join the family. And if you have any comments, I would love to chat with you in the comments. And feel free to like this video. So this video is going to be intense. I'm going to tell you all the books I read in 2020. So my goal was 83 and I read 93 out of 83. I am so happy that I surpassed my goal. So to make this video short and to make this video easy, I'm just going to tell you the name of the book, what series it's in, and how many stars I gave it. For book one, I read Cinder by from the Lunar Chronicles. This is book one, and this is by Marissa Meyer. I gave this 5 stars. Next, I read Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. This is book one in the series, and I gave this one 5 stars. Unravel Me by Tahara Mafi, book 2. Book 3 by Tahara Mafi, Ignite Me, and I gave this whole series 5 stars. Next, I read the novella Unite Me, Destroy Me, and Fracture Me by Tahara Mafi, and I gave this 4 stars. I read the Shatter Me books. That was a reread of those 3 books, and I added the novellas. Then I read Divergent by Veronica Roth. This is book 1 in the series, and I gave that one 5 stars. Next, I read Restore Me from Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, and I gave this one 5 stars. Next, I read Insurgent by Veronica Roth, and this is book 2 in the Divergent series, and I gave this one 5 stars. Next, we have To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, and I gave this one 5 stars. This is book 1 in the series. Next, I read Allegiant by Veronica Roth, and I gave this one 4 stars. This is book 3 in the Divergent series. Next, I read When Less Becomes More by Emily Lee. I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is book 2 in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. I gave this 5 stars. Next, I read Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. Yeah. This is book 1 in the Before I Fall series, and I gave this one 4 stars. Next, I read The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks, and I gave this one 4 stars. This is a standalone. Next, I read Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I gave this one 5 stars, and this is the first book in the Me Before You series. Next, I read The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicole Yoon, and I gave this one a 5 stars. This is also a standalone. Next, This Lullaby by Sarah Dessen. I gave this one a 5 stars. This is also a standalone. Then we have After You by Jojo Moyes. This is book 2 in the Me Before You series, and I gave this one 2 stars. Next, we have Silver Shadows from the Bloodline series by Rochelle Mead, and this is book 5 in the series, and I gave this one a 5 stars. Next, we have Revealed from House of Night. This is book 11 by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. I gave this one 4 stars. Then we have Pretty Little Liars Secrets by Sarah Shepard. This is book 4.5 in the Pretty Little Liars series, and I gave this one 4 stars. Next, we have Sight by Juliet Madison. This is book 1 in the Delta Girls series, and I gave this one 5 stars. Next, we have Seen Cinderella by Jenny Lindquist, and I gave this one 4 stars. This is a standalone. Next, I read Find Me, which is Shadow Me and Reveal Me by Tahara Mafi, and I gave this one 4 stars from the Shatter Me series. Next, I read The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. This is a standalone. I gave this one 5 stars. Next, I have Beautiful Darkness. This is book 2 in the Castor Chronicles series by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I gave this one 5 stars. Next, I read Every Heart a Doorway by Sean McGuire. This is book 1, and I gave this 4 stars. Next, I read Nightshade by Andrea Creamer. This is book 1 in the Nightshade series. I gave this 5 stars. Next I read Maleficent by T. Sutherland, adapted by T. Sutherland, and I gave this 3 stars. Then I read Remaining Eileen, which was a debut novel from Autumn Lindsay, and I gave this 5 stars. Next I read The Ruby Circle, which is book 6 in the Bloodline series by Michelle Mead, and I gave this 5 stars. Then I read Big Little Lies by Leanne Morty, and I gave this 4 stars. Then I read The Vampire Diaries, The Return, Nightfall, and this is book 1 by L.J. Smith, and I gave this 4 stars. Then I read Evermore, and I gave this 5 stars. This is book 1 in the Evermore series by Alison Noel. Then I read Gossip Girl by Cecily. Then I read Gossip Girl by Cecily von Zoster. Ziegaster. Cecily von Ziegaster. And this is book 1 in the Gossip Girl series, and I rated this 4 stars. Then I read The Selection by Kiera Cass. This is book 1 in the Selection series, and I gave this 5 stars. Then Hashtag Girl Boss by Sophia Amoraso, and I gave this 5 stars. Then I read The Scorched Trials by James Dashner, and I gave this 3 stars. This is book 2 in the Maze Runner series. Then I read Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. This was a reread, and I gave this 5 stars. Then I read Sound, which is book 2 in the Delta Girls series by Juliet Madison, and I gave this 5 stars. Then I read Torment, which is book 2 in the Fallen series by Lauren Kate, and I gave this 5 stars. Next I read The Fairest of All by Serena Valentino, and I gave this 4 stars. This is book 1 in the series. Then I read Twisted, book 9 in the Pretty Little Liars series by Sarah Shepard, and I gave this one 4 stars. Next I read The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stefan Kuboski, and I gave this one 3.5 stars. Next I read Elite, which is book 2 in the Selection series by Kiera Cass. I gave this 5 stars. Next I read The Penultimate Peril, book 12 in a series of Fortune Event books by Lemony Snicket. I gave this one 4 stars. Next I read The Crow's Rest, which is book 1 in the Crow's Rest series by Angela R. Jackson, and I gave this one 4 stars. Then I read The End, which is book 13 in the series of Fortune Events by Lemony Snicket, and I gave this one 4 stars. Then I read The Beast Within, which is book 2 by Serena Valentino, and I gave that one 4 stars. I read The Anti-Virginity Pact by Katie Weismer, and I gave that one 4 stars. This is book 1 in the Pact series. Then I read Imagine Me, which is book 6 in the Shatter Me series, and I gave that one 5 stars. Then I read The One by Kiera Cass. This is book 3 in the trilogy of the Selection, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read the Suki Stackhouse book 1, Dead Until Dark by Charlene Harris, and I gave this 5 stars. Then I read Down Among the Sticks and Stones, which was the Wayward Children series, book 2. I buddy read it with my friend Kelsey from Bookishly Nerdy here on YouTube, and I gave it 5 stars. Then I read Nightlight by Harvard Lampoon, and I gave this 1 star. Then I read Alice in Wonderland, and I gave this one 3 stars. Then I read Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevers, and I gave that 4 stars, and it was book 1 in the series. Then I read The Summoning by Kelly Armstrong. I gave this book 4 stars, and this is book 1 in the Summoning series. Then I read The Passion, which is book 3 in the Fallen series by Lauren Kate, and I gave this one 4 stars. Then I read Of Poseidon by Anna Banks. This is book 1 in the Of Poseidon series. This is book 1 in the Sirena series, and I gave this 5 stars. Then I read Dream Dark, which is 2.5 of the Castor Chronicles, and I gave that 4 stars. And I also read Chrysanta Night, The Protagonist Bound, which is book 1 in the Chrysanta Night series by Gianna Culbertson, and I read that book for an author review. and I gave that one 4.5 stars. Then I read Slave to Sensation, which is book 1 in the Changeling series, and I gave that one 3 stars. Then I read Lost Voices, book 1 in the Lost Voices series by Sarah Porter, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read Everneath by Brody Ashton, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read Born at Midnight, book 1 of The Shadow Falls by CC Hunter, and I gave this 5 stars. Then I read Hex Hall, book 1 in the Hex Hall series, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read The Sweet Fair Thing, the Gemma Doyle series, book 3 by Liva Bray, and I gave this one 4 stars. Then I read Anna and the French Kiss, book 1 in the Anna and the French Kiss series by Stephanie Perkins, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read The Perfectionists, book 1 by Sarah Shepard. I gave this one 5 stars. That's book 1. Then I read The Field Guide, which is book 1 in the Spiderwick Chronicles, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard, and I gave this one 4 stars, and this is book 1 in the series. Then I read Beautiful Creatures, book 3 by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. Then I read Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. I gave this 3.5 stars. Then I read The Return Shadow Souls by LJ Smith, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. Then I read Shimmer by Alison Noel. This is book 2 in the Cassidy Blake series, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. Then I read The Babysitter's Club book Christie's Great Idea. I gave this book 4 stars. Then I read The Severance Game by Gianna Culbertson, and I gave this book 5 stars. This is book 2 in the Chrysanta Night series. I also read this book for an author. Then I read Always and Forever by Laura Jean by Jenny Han, and this is book 3 in the trilogy, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read Becoming by Michelle Obama, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read After, book 1 by Anna Todd, and I gave this 5 stars. Then I read The Cool Prince by Holly Black. I gave this 5 stars. This is book 1 in the Folk Air series. Then I read Beautiful Redemption, book 4 by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I gave this one 4.5 stars in the Castor Chronicles. Then I read The 12 Days of Christmas by Debbie Montgomery, and I rated this 4.5 stars. Then I read Dangerous Dream, which is the Dangerous Creatures number 0.5 in that series, and I gave it a 4.5 stars. And Dangerous Creatures number 1 in the Dangerous Creatures series, and I gave that one a 4 stars. And then last book I was reading at this time is Luxe Beginnings by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I'm almost done with Obsidian, which will count as my goal, and so I will hit 94 books. Wow, those are all the books that I read for 2020. 94 books out of my goal of 83. Wow, this is amazing. It's so fun to just see them all stacked and how much I've accomplished. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and if you would like to subscribe, I would love for you to join the family. We have a lot of fun here, and everyone is welcome. I hope to see you in my next videos. Remember, you can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book. Bye!